Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Oh dear. It's Friday. I am absolutely shattered today and I've got a really sore throat, so I'm going to try and stream for as long as I can. I'm clutching a cup of tea and just trying to warm the back of my throat up. Morning, Minion Mama, how are you? Oh gosh. I was working at a quilt show at the weekend and I always get this after a quilt show. I kind of get the lurgy, all the germs and all the good stuff that they leave behind on the stand when they're talking to us. And I thought I'd managed to beat it this week, but obviously not. It's caught me up yesterday and it's not too bad today, but just a sore throat. So I'm just slurping a quick cup of tea to try and get my voice back. Oh dear, how is everybody today? Yeah, it's a lovely sunny day here in the UK. So a bit of glare makes me look even worse, but not to worry. Oh gosh, Minion Mama, that sounds awful. Dear, oh dear. Oh, it makes my sore throat pale into comparison then, really. Touch wood, I've never had to, never had pneumonia, but it's quite debilitating, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. Oh. Right, anyway, so on Tuesday's stream, and I have to say Tuesday was my first affiliate stream, Maren, but I completely forget to change that channel heading every time. So today is my second affiliate stream, but on Tuesday we were just doing, we were looking at half hexagons and diamonds, and put together these three, excuse me, three-dimensional tumbling blocks. And I was going to make some more, but if I'm honest, I can't be bothered to make any more. I haven't quite got the right colours to do the grading between dark, medium and light to give us this 3D effect, so I thought I'm going to stop with three. I'm going to stitch them all together and applique them to this grey fabric background, and then I might just make a little mug rug or a mat, or I might keep it as a block and we'll do maybe a series of sort of sample blocks and put them together into a quilt. I haven't decided. You guys can help me decide that later on if you like. So yeah, I'm just going to swap cameras and get on with sewing these together, and then we'll applique them down. So I'm just going to do it nice and simple today. Oh, Minion Mama's been to the quilt shop. Fantastic. Oh, I'm so pleased. It's kind of addictive. I started out with this and yeah, it takes over, and I find myself now, if I haven't got anything to do or I'm in between projects, I can just grab a few hexes and baste them up ready for the next thing, whatever that might be. So what have you gone for, Minion Mama? You gone for hexagons or different shapes? We've got a whole bunch of shapes. Let's just get some of this off. I'm trying to be organised today. I tidied my office up and I can't find anything now, so I tried to grab it all together in one place. And I still haven't learned to thread my needles before I start streaming. I really must do that. Oh dear. So yeah, it's a super bright day today, but unfortunately my room is on the north-facing side of the house. It's quite dark, so just see I've got a bit of shadow here. If I put my light on though, my face will be a bit glared, but hopefully we can see that a little bit better. So I'm just going to join the red and the green. So I'm going to put them right sides together. We've got these little tails to deal with. Just got to fold those out the way when we're stitching. So I'm just lining up my points. And I'm just going to clip them together using my wonderful Wonder Clips. So I'll throw out a few things. So the only way I could get hexagon rulers was to get a kit of different sizes and shapes on them. Oh, okay. But you're ready to go. So I've got some hexagon rulers I was going to show you today, because I might cut this out to be a big hexagon. Well, I will anyway. If it's going to be a mug rug or if it's going to be a block, I'll make it a hexagonal one. Okay, so I'm very conscious that I've got a light just above me here, and it makes my face very shiny, but it means I can see. I'm just going to grab my cushion to rest my hands on. As always, grab yourself a pillow or something just to rest, get the work a bit closer to you. Here we are. I can just rest there. So I'm just folding away these little flags so I can get into the very edge of the block. Just take a few tiny stitches. I've got a knot in the end of my thread, so I'm not going to pull it all the way through. I'm just going to take a couple of anchoring stitches, a loop in there. 2:45, Minion Mama, you still can't sleep? Goodness me. To be honest, makeup has never been a thing in my house anyway. Thankfully, my husband always says he knows what I look like first thing in the morning, so I might as well save my money for fabric. Which is nice. Oh dear. So we're just whip stitching these together. Just move forward a little bit. Try not to get hooked up. I love the Wonder clips, but I do get caught up on them if I'm not careful. And on these little flags of fabric, just try and fold them out the way. So yeah, we had fun on Tuesday. I got my first 2 subscribers, so a big thank you to Unfinished Mel and Lavoggy, because I wasn't expecting that. I've got nothing ready for subscribers. I haven't designed any emotes or anything yet, but I have set up a Discord server. It's all new, but I have set up a Discord server, and any hexadoodles that I do, I'll pop in there, so if anybody wants to have a go at making them up, they are more than welcome to. I still haven't got round to doing Minion Mama's bugs and critters themed ones, but we did do the zombie and the vampire that I was challenged to do. I think it was Kaziki challenged me to do those, so I did have a play with those in the emoji style. And I also managed to do the beast from Beauty and the Beast, which was tricky, shall we say. That was Lavoggy's request. That was fun. But, in fact, I did try and set up an automatic timer to pop the link up, but I don't know if it has, so let's see if this command works. There you go. Woohoo! So yeah, if you want to jump over to Discord and join me in there, I'll pop up hexadoodles from time to time, and if anybody wants to share images rather than trying to post links and whatnot on the stream, we can put the images in there. And yeah, let me know what you want to see on there as well. I'm trying to kind of preempt it, but it's always easier if people who know what they want can ask for it, and if I can, I'll oblige. So just whip stitching along here. I've seen a lot of talk lately about a different type of stitch for joining hexagons. There's one called ladder stitch, which I have used, and I do use if I'm making things like soft toys and whatnot, but I find it quite difficult to do on the paper piecing. It just seems to take me too long and I get frustrated. But there's another one that's been kind of doing the rounds called a flat back stitch, which I have not had a go at yet, but I might try that in another stream. Might have a go at that stitch and see how it looks. But I think there's a general consensus that you shouldn't see your stitches when you're paper piecing. And for me, seeing stitches has never been an issue. It doesn't bother me that you can see my stitches, because this is handmade. I kind of want you to see the stitches. I don't want it to look like it's machine made. But I thought I might have a go at that and just see. But it looks quite difficult to do, because again, you've got to have your pieces flat next to each other rather than like this folded over. So I'm going to do a bit more reading up on that and see how it looks. So that should be that one done. A little loop there just to sort of knot it off. There we go, so we've got that one attached, and then I want to attach in underneath here our blue one. And I just need to make sure that I can pay attention to the placement. So the light source, if you like, is from the top. So we've got the lights all at the top, and then we've got the darks in shade there. So let's make sure that I do not do this the wrong way. So I've still got a green thread attached, so I'll stitch the green side first. Just line those up. And again, just pop these wonder clips on to have a go. There we are. I'm going to stitch along this edge here. So again, I just need to fold these little tabs out of the way, just so I can get right into that corner. I can see what I'm doing. Where's my thread? So, because these aren't a fully closed shape like a hexagon, you end up with little sort of flags of fabric, but they don't cause a problem. Ultimately, just whilst you're stitching, you can sometimes get hooked up on them. So hopefully now the streaming is going much better. We've got the new broadband in, and so far, touch wood again, I've had no problem with dropping frames and things, so I'm super happy about that, and hopefully I'm a little less glitchy. Just caught that little tag there we go. So yeah, I think I'll turn this into a mug rug, because I quite like small useful projects. So the thought of embarking on a grandmother's flower garden for many can be quite daunting, and that's understandable. Have got a little grandmother's garden quilt that I made, but I too lost the will to live after a while, so it's probably going to be more like a tablecloth or a table covering than a full-size quilt. I'm too much of a butterfly. I like to just have a go at something, think, yeah, I love it, what's next? Move on to another shape or another design. So just taking tiny little bites out of the fabric each time, just grazing the paper. I can feel the needle kind of run across the top of the papers, so I'm not stitching through the papers. And this is where using a really fine, long needle comes in handy, although it can be tricky to thread them, but there are some good needle threaders out there now. I think Clover do a particularly good one. I've just not bought one yet because finding them in our local quilt shops is quite tricky. But, I did find, I'll show you a really cool gadget my mum bought me a couple of years ago now, and I lost it because it's quite small. And that's got a really nice needle threader on it, so at the minute I'm managing just there we go, let's get that one on there. Nearly to the end, just folding those little tags out the way again. Just realised I forgot to put my music on this morning. That's a bit rubbish. Perhaps we'll do that in a second as well. I'm going to need to put a thimble on too, because my finger hurts. Where have I put that? Is that one any good? I use these little leather stick-on dots. You can see like little sticky leather dots, and they're great. They just protect the pad of your finger. There's always one or two stuck to the keyboard. The iPhone, the kettle, light switches in the bathroom, because I forget I'm wearing it. And I take it off and then I forget to put it back on again. There we are, that's that one. Just loop through there and pull it secure. Let's see how that looks. There we go. And to be honest, with the whip stitch, if you use a really fine thread and match the thread well, you can hardly see the stitches anyway. Yeah, see, I'm quite happy with that. And then we've just got to go along this edge here now, and I'll probably do that with a blue thread rather than a pink. Find if you always go with a darker thread, if you haven't quite got the perfect colour match, if you go with a darker thread, it's less obvious anyway on the front than if you go with a lighter thread. So let's just secure this in the seam allowance on the back. which just means taking a couple of stitches, trying not to go through the papers. These needles are a bit sharp. These are the tulip straw needles, and I'm really liking them at the moment. They are super sharp, quite bendy as well. I quite like a bend in my needle, but so far we've not snapped one. So then we're just going to join this row across here. So I'm going to go with a kind of almost like a grey, steel grey thread. I will if I can find the end of it anyway. There it is. So that should blend in quite nicely. This is the Wonderfil Deco Bob thread. You can buy pre-wound bobbins. Probably wouldn't use them on the machine because I'd get through them quite quickly, but they're great for applique and English paper piecing because they're so small, and you get a lot of thread on them, more than I can get on if I thread a bobbin myself with my machine. So there's over 100 yards of thread on each bobbin. And I bought it in a pack that had like 32 different colours, so I've pretty much got every colour thread I might need, but there'll always be one. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck those little bits out the way and just fold that there, and because we've used a half hexagon it folds nicely because of the join. And again, don't really need to clip this, but I will just to make sure it doesn't shift when I'm stitching that last seam. So again, we've got a knot in the thread. I'm just going to go right through those corner points. Where did I order the bobbins? I picked these up at a show actually, Marin. When I was at the show, Wonderfil had a stand there. I know there are websites in the UK that sell them. I don't know about Germany. Perhaps worth having a look. Even maybe Amazon might have them. If I can find, I'll find the packaging. Oh dear. So this was what I got. So it's a bit shiny. It's got a little cover on the top. So they're all pre-wound bobbins, all different colours. I've used quite a few already actually. Yeah, this is Wonderfil. Wonderfil. It's called Deco Bob. So it's a polyester thread. It's a polyester thread. It's a bit stretchy, but you get used to that. You get used to that, and I've had no problems with it at all. So I think I've used most of the black ones in my machine because I was too lazy to wind my own bobbins. But no, brilliant for paper piecing and applique if you do any kind of hand applique. And I'm not one of those that worries about using only cotton thread with cotton fabric. I think the theory is that in time, with a lot of use, the polyester can wear away at the fibres and damage the fabric. But I don't make quilts to be used for 100 years. And a lot of my quilts tend to be wall hangings. So again, they're not going to come under the same kind of wear and tear that a normal quilt would. So I'm not concerned about that at the moment. Just trying to see what I'm doing there. I think I might have gone through the paper there, but we'll stitch on. Just trying to grab a few threads each time. What I can do then, I can always put details again in Discord now, if I can do a search later and see if I can find the Wonderfil. And that's Fil with just one L, F-I-L on the end. It's all one word. I think they're trying to sort of break into the UK market at the moment. Another one that's good is Superior Threads. They do the pre-wound bobbins, and that is called a Super Bob. Super Bob. But I think they're wound with Bottom Line is their polyester bobbin thread, and again it's very good. What do you mean you used a half hex? Oh right, around the outside edges here we've used a half hexagon Minion Mama to make a full hexagon shape, because this central one was made up of diamonds to make a hexagon. Then we put half hexagons around the outside. And what I was saying is on Tuesday you can buy packs of half hexagon papers, or you can just cut a hexagon in half, which is what I tend to do because I don't use that many of them. and I've got way too many papers as it is. See, I've got another couple of half hexagon projects that need finishing as well. So perhaps I'll show you those in a bit. Again, this was done with 1-inch papers, so we used 1-inch 60-degree diamonds, and then I used 1-inch hexagons, but I cut those in half across their widest point. So the outer edge ends up being 2 inches long, but the edge that matches up with the diamonds is still 1 inch. But you can cut your hexagons down into triangles as well. If you just go from point to point across the centre, you'll get 6 equilateral triangles. And it can be handy if you're just testing out a shape or an idea for a shape. It's handy to be able to do it quickly, and then if you want to, you can order the actual papers. Just got myself looped. Let's just try and get this last few stitches in. That feels like I went through the paper again. Oops. If you do stitch through the paper, it's not a problem. You can easily sort of tear the papers away. You just have to do it gently, so it helps to not just yank the paper out when you're finished. But we'll be taking all of these out anyway when we come to applique it down. So I think that is that. Let's trim that off and see how we look. There we go, all joined up, and the stitches aren't really visible either. Let's move that out of the way. Right then, let's just sort out some tunes, because it's a bit quiet. Crazy computer face for a minute. What am I going to play? Let's have a look. Let's go with that one, because I quite like that one. There we are. Not so quiet now. Let me know if it's too loud. So there we are. Like I say, if I hold that up, you can barely see the stitches anyway, so quite happy with that. So I'm going to applique it onto this background. But before I do that, I need to remove all the papers from the back. We've already taken out the diamonds because they're already surrounded, but I need to take these ones out. And what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to spray it with spray starch and press it with a dry iron, and that should give these edges a bit of stability, stop them from flapping around. So let's grab spray starch for all that is good, pre-shrunken cottony. I'm just going to take this away and spray it over there. There we go. We'll just let that sink in a second. And I just use regular spray starch, whatever I can find in the supermarket. We can get hold of Best Press here in the UK, but it's very, very expensive, so I tend not to. Grab the iron. Make sure it's dry, turn the steam off. I do tend to use steam a lot in patchwork as well. Some people don't, but I do. Can't beat a bit of persuasive pressing, especially when it wants to curl up. Just let that warm up. Oh dear. Has anybody got any plans for the weekend? I think we're moving the kids around again. They've decided they want their own bedrooms again. Fun and games. And that'll last for about a week, and then they'll miss each other and they'll want to be back in together. Oh dear. Hang in there, throat. So I'm just pressing, I'm not smooshing with the iron, just gently pressing it. we go, that looks good to me. Just press it on the back as well, that might help to loosen some of the glue that's holding these pieces on as well. Okay, I think the last thing I'm going to do quickly is just fold this into half and find sort of roughly the centre points. Again, we'll just press that. Just gives us a sort of registration line to work to when we're trying to lay the pieces up. Let's do the same again. Okay. So it's another oak shot fabric, and it's got a weird kind of sheen to it because you've got different threads on your warp and weft, and it gives this lovely shimmering effect, which is quite nice. You can just about see it. So I can see I've got my registration marks. I'll be able to line these up then so that they're roughly central on that piece of fabric. Just get rid of the iron. I've only got a tiny little room. It doesn't take far to get it away. Okay, let's peel these papers out. We're just going to go very carefully. Just use my thumbnail to ease the fabric away. So these are all glue basted, so the glue comes out quite easily. Like I say, just be gentle because I may have stitched through the papers at times. Those needles are super sharp. You don't always realise you've done it. This is where being sparing with the glue comes in as well. If you put too much glue on, it can be a little bit trickier. Thank you for the follow! Good morning, Yummy Rocks. How are you doing? We're going for a Friday finish today. See if we can finish this block off. Just trying to peel these fabrics off the paper. Hey Monkey, how are you? Thank you for the bits. Oh, and thank you for the host. Oh, just all the love this morning. I'm not too bad, thanks, Monkey. I've got the kind of post-show lurgy. My throat's killing me this morning, but I've got a cup of tea. I should be all right. So we're just trying to get these papers out. Concrud, yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it. I think I'm going to have to invest in the flu jab next year because, it's lovely travelling around to meet people, but you pick up all sorts. Oh, well, thank you, Yummy Rocks. That's very kind of you. You can do this too. This is so straightforward. It's kind of why I'm here, to show you guys that it's not as scary as it looks, you know. You just need some fabric, needle and thread, and some paper pieces. So I do a lot of work by hand. I do work by machine as well, but mostly on stream I do hand work so that you guys, if you want to, can have a go. Oh really, does the flu jab make you a bit icky then? Ah. See, normally I haven't bothered because the kids get it through school, and Rob's parents get it because they're over a certain age. So everybody I know has the flu jab. I've never bothered because I figure I'm protected. But if I'm going to go out on the road like this, I think I'm going to have to eat better when I'm out on the road. And yeah, just look after myself better. Notorious for living off Prosecco and pot noodle when we're away from home. Not ideal. Oh dear. Come on, you. Oh, you're colouring. What are you colouring it? Yummy Rocks? I keep seeing all these really funky colouring books. I just, too much of a perfectionist. I get cross if I do it wrong. Prosecco Protner. I'm a real classy chick, you know. We normally camp in a field as well, because it's too expensive to stay in hotels. It's all the glamour. Well, this one's being a pig. Oh, you've got swearing ones. Oh, I like that. I like the sound of that. I've been seeing a lot of naughty cross stitch on Instagram, and I quite fancy that. I'm just not sure where I'd hang them because I don't really want the kids to see it, you know. Oh dear. Morning, Oggy. That's a good night's sleep for you then if you've just got up. Oh, that was the polite way of putting it, flying pink monkey. I was going to say she gets about a bit. Oh, it sounds good, Yummy Rocks. I saw one advertised the other day on Instagram on your iPad, and I figured I could probably do that because I can at least undo. Oh dear. — 12 hours sleep. That is pretty good going, Oggy. So, I've got the dreaded con crud, as Monkeys described it. I'm feeling really rough after my quilt show now. So my throat's all razor blades in it. Oh my. I might have to plug the iron back in after this. I've mashed this one up. Come on out. There we go. I know I have like a little crochet hook around I can put in under the... There we go. You can call me Hexadoodle, Yummy Rocks. Come on. Ah, there we go. So these are the ones where I think you're the one that goes around asking people to pinch their cheeks. Maybe. Oh dear. Come on. I'm frantically looking around for Monkey. She's everywhere, Yummy Rocks. Oh, Minion Mama, that's rubbish. What show was that? Oh, if we were over there, we'd come do it for you. Nearly there. I think we've got that corner there. Oh, looks like we've got a good morning this morning, guys. There we are. So that looks like a bit of a mess now. Hey girl. Always makes me laugh. Hey girl. Hey boy. Superstar DJ. Oh, interesting, monkey. Shall we deal with that then? Okay, so that looks a little bit messy. It isn't, don't worry. It looks okay on the front. The joy of this, we can hide everything behind it. So I'm going to glue base this rather than pin it. Are you going? Oh dear. I don't think we need to do anything right now, guys. I'm having fun still. And I'm sure Yummy Rocks is going to behave themselves. And if not, you know, we'll deal with it. Right, so yeah, we're just going to pin. I would normally, you can pin this, but I find that I'm looking for pins as well now. Oh, hang on, what's my mama saying? Oh, yeah, probably best not to Minion Mama. Still, does suck, doesn't it? Okay, pin cushion, found the pin cushion. It's, oh, all the way on the other side. So you can pin this down, but sometimes I find the pins distort it and lift it up. Okay, so I am going to use this stuff here called Glue Based It. So it's slightly different to the glue pens that I use for actually doing the paper piecing. I use this more for applique to hold shapes in place, but it comes with this really awesome super fine tip, and I only have to put a small bead of glue and that will hold everything in place. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just sort of lining it up on the registration marks, so the tops of the hexes here on the central one, and this one is running down the centre here, and then we'll just fold it back and I'll put a few spots of glue. So just tiny little amounts, look, we don't need to use a lot because this is quite expensive, this glue. Glue everywhere, that's right, Oggy. It works better for stream, and to be honest, I'm all about speed. I want to get things done and move on to the next project, so we'll let that flop back and then we'll just push that in place. And you'll notice I've left these tags out. I will tuck those in with the tip of the needle when we come to them, rather than trying to glue them down and out the way now. So that will stick that in place now, and that will stay there until it's washed. Yeah, this is awesome stuff. It's by Roxanne's, Glue Based It. Quite expensive here in the UK. I think this is about £16, so that's probably $20. But this tub will, it's probably last me about 3 years. So actually, £5 a year for this glue, not bad going. Literally just run out of the other one I had, which is, it comes in this little, you get a little squeezy bottle version as well. And I've had that for a good 2 years. So this one's got twice the amount of glue and will last much longer. Like I say, you only need a tiny, tiny bead, and then this holds it until it's washed. So it's, yeah, it's good. Just tiny little dabs of glue. And just, I was just about to say, I'm trying to stay away from the edge, as I've just gone off right to the edge. I don't want to go right to the edge because I've got to stitch through the edge. And whilst it's not impossible, it just makes it a bit trickier. You like the tags, do you? Yeah. Maybe that's a thing, I can leave them, leave them out. Can I please repeat? Yeah, sure, it is Roxanne Glue Based It, and Love Oggy is all over it for me. Thank you, Oggy. It is cheap in the US, it's a US product. Like I say, I don't use this for the paper piecing part, but I do use it for the basting. And it's handy in dressmaking and things as well. You can kind of baste seams together. $12, wow! That is good. Get thee a bottle. So I'm peeling it, you can still see a little outline there. I'm just going to do this side and then let it all dry for a minute. There we go. And I've just got these last few bits here. Oh, thank you for the follow, Alley Cat. We're well on the way to my... Yes, I do spell it properly. Oh, and morning Mel as well. Evening Mel, I should say. Oh. Well, I've got it now, Monkey. I don't need any more for about another 3 or 4 years. So you see, that's stuck firm now. I'm just going to try and sneak in underneath. That's the other good thing about this. You've got these little, almost like syringe applicator. There we go. So we're on. We're just going to let that dry for a bit. But that's not coming off now. Da, da, da. I love the 3D effect. When I'm looking at it here, looking down at it on the desk, it doesn't look as three-dimensional. But when I look at it on the screen, it's like, yeah, I like it. Funky monkey. Funky monkey. Okay, so what we need now, we're going to need to stitch it down, aren't we, Ali? We'll start with the red. So we'll stitch up and around here. And I will colour match, so I'll do red thread for this, blue for this, and then a green for that. Just to try and get it to blend in. Oh, it's so hot here today in the UK. I'm not complaining about the heat, but it makes the glue on my thimbles melt and they fall off. Not ideal. Oh, I've got a little bit knocked off my stride there. I'll just take 2 minutes to collect myself. Oh. Do not knock the tea off. See if I can dig in and see if I can find a new... You're still not done with the bag. Oh, you will be, Oggy. You will be. And you'll be glad that you are when you are. So I've got a new thimble. Oh, you think Anna could use these? They're made by Colonial Needle. They're called thimble pads. Absolutely brilliant. Because I can't wear a normal thimble. I've just about got used to wearing one for quilting, but just for stitching like this, these are brilliant. So thimble pads. I think I did set up one of those Amazon gear things on the channel. I might have put them in the list. If I haven't, I can add them to the list so you guys can find them. What was I going to do? I'm looking for my new skin. Just having a quick nosy about, see if I can find it. Oh, what have I done with that then? Oh, there it is. So something else I also do, because like my fingers, I don't know if you can see it, they get mashed. They get really mashed. There's lots of holes in them and calluses, which is fine, that's part and parcel. But there's a product here called, in the UK, it's by Germany, it's called New Skin. It's a liquid plaster. And what you can do is just paint that on your fingertip, or even clear nail polish. I'm losing everything, Minion. I spent an hour yesterday ripping my office apart, trying to find the samples for work. I'm making 2 quilts for work. Can I find them? But I've lost everything. So I just paint that on and let it dry, and that just gives me a little bit of a cushion. And if nothing else, I find it helps just with the... you love liquid skin. I only use it for sewing. But when it dries, it'll just mean that the glue on my thimble pad won't get too warm. Yeah, I bet you have seen them in Joann's as well. So we don't have those here, so... But yeah, I lost two quilt kits, and I was like, where are they? And I found, in the end, they're in the bottom of my paper piecing project box, which is not where they should be. But I've managed to finish one of them, so I can show you those. Oh, I like it, Monkey. That's a good idea. Bless them, mine just get it marked on with a Sharpie. It takes days to wash off, but it's going nowhere. Yeah, Oggy, I'd never heard of it, and somebody else in a hand quilting group mentioned it. So yeah, I'm not sure I would actually put it on a cut or a wound, but I'm a bit of a wimp. I just assume that's going to sting if I put that on an open wound. But yeah, it's alright on the fingertip like that. Just letting it dry. Yeah, we're good to go. But now when I stick my thimble on, you see, it won't, hopefully, won't take the glue off it so quickly. Right, let's get a length of thread going on. What did I just do with my needle? I was going to show you my thing, wasn't I? It's a little needle keeper that my mum got for me. I think you're supposed to wear it around your neck, but it's a really cool kind of tortoiseshell effect. Oh, it does sting, but only... Oh, okay. I'm dead wimpy. I'll test it on the kids first. So yeah, this is a little needle keeper my mum got me. And kind of unscrew the lid. And in there I can keep my needles. Because these are my favourite needles, and I count them in and I count them out. So I don't leave them lying around, because they are super long and super sharp. Oh, you could make something, could you? Ah, and then on this end there's a tiny little screw here on this end, but if I just undo it, I'm sure a bit's fallen off because it feels like that should... It's a needle threader, so I can just turn it around and screw it back in the bottom. You'd make a killing with these, Alley Cat. No worries, monkey. Go away, you smelly thing. But that's a little needle threader as well, which I just think, I love it, I love it. Ah, totally do it, Alley Cat. Could do these and then a seam ripper with a matching handle as well. That would be ace. So yeah, then I can just thread my needle, in theory. Hey! I don't tend to use needle threaders because I break them. You get the cheap metal ones, don't you? But this one looks okay. I wish my mum could remember where she got it from, that's the only problem. It's like, oh, I love it, where's it from? Don't know. Great. So there we go, put that through there. Easy peasy. So yeah, that is really sweet. The only problem is that I have to put the needle threader away again, otherwise it's gonna, I guess it's gonna get snapped off if I forget. So let's do that now. And then that just slots inside, and it just feels like it's really smart. Could do with like almost like a concealed blade for just snicking threads, because then you could take this on an aircraft or something, couldn't you, if you wanted to sew on the plane. I know the biggest problem people have is getting scissors on board, but if you could just have like a little blade like you get on the dental floss, which is how we get around it, you use dental floss container to snick your thread. But that would be ace. Okay, let's get a knot in this. Go, knot in the end. And this is all completely dry now, so I cannot, that's not coming off at all. Oh, yeah, I think I know what you mean, Minion Mama, I've seen those. So I can kind of scrunch this up now in my hand, and I'm going to use my needle just to sweep that tag out of the way and underneath. And then we'll start stitching. So this is an applique stitch now. So I'm coming up from the back and literally just taking a tiny chunk out of, let's see this, just a tiny bit out of the edge each time, a few threads, and that will just hold this down. And always go in directly opposite where I came up, just into the background, and then we come up through the background and the edge of the hexagon. Oh, heart-shaped ones. Need a hexy-shaped one. Just going to grab my pillow again, just to raise my hands. Let me rest my wrists. So I end up scrunching my shoulders up. It's not good. Not good when you do it all day. So straight into the background, and I'm just going to come up through the hexagon and the background. Like I say, I don't take tiny stitches. I think this is just going to end up being like a mug rug, so I think if I do a permit alley cat, in fact, let's have a look. I can't remember about links. I did kind of nail everything down after recent events. Alley cat fiber arts. Oh, I can't even see what I'm typing now. Does that work? Right, I haven't done the case sensitive doodads. Okie dokie, hang on. Oh no, it worked, fine. Good, we're all good. Sterling silver thimble. Oh, let's have a quick look. Did that do anything, Alison? Oh, there we go. I love those. I love those thimbles. I've seen them talked about in the hand quilting group. Oh, we both did it. Well, you did it right, Oggy. I didn't. Yes, yeah. My biggest problem actually, Alicat, is I use my thumb for quilting rather than my finger for quilting. So trying to get a thimble that just fits over my thumb and doesn't mess with the joint has been difficult. So I've been making my own leather thimble for now, and it works. But I think there's another company, TJ Lane, I think she does a thumb thimble, but it's whether or not it would work for me because they're so expensive. But I know that everybody who's got a Roxanne thimble loves it. I'm just nervous about spending $100 and finding it's not right. See, I think you can just about see the shimmer from this fabric as well, look, on camera there. Because it's got different coloured warp and weft threads, you get this lovely shimmering effect. And I've been hoarding these fabrics for too long. I've decided I need to start using them. So I'm just coming up, there's another flag coming up here, so we're going to sweep that under. I'm just going to use the tip of the needle just to fold it back. Honestly, Oggy, I don't think she would. She's a bit, I don't know how to put it, she's not funny, she's very independent, so it's very difficult for even to get her to let me help out sometimes. So I think she would be a bit weird about that, but I can ask her, I can certainly ask her. So there we go, I'm just going to come around this side now, I'm just trying to put a little stitch or two here, get those loose threads out of the way. Oh. Have you allowed that, Oggy? Hang on. I'm just going to allow that. Topless thimbles apparently is it's not allowed. It doesn't like it when it's 2 words either. Yes, a topless thimble, that's a tailor's thimble. Oh, you gotta love auto mod. An open-ended thimble, should we refer to them as open-ended thimbles? Or tailor's thimbles is what they're called, yeah. I did buy one actually and squash it with some pliers to see if it would fit over my thumb, but didn't quite work. Oh dear. I do love trying to see how we can break the auto mod. I need to figure out what it is about Wise Cube's name as well. Yeah, I think that's the thing, Minion Mama. We're it's kind of like a well-oiled machine. You get to know how you like things done, and she's just recently taken somebody else on to help, and she has us on separate days because she knows we won't get along just because we're different, and yeah, it's tricky, and no one will ever do it the way you want it done. You just want to go to the quilt show. I would say, Oggy, if you just want to go to a quilt show, come over in August, because there's the massive one, massive one in Birmingham in the middle of August, and that's the big European one as well. So that's definitely well worth seeing. These ones that we're doing each month are kind of small provincial ones, so you don't have that many quilts, and you don't have an awful lot of traders there, so you wouldn't get the full quilt show experience, shall we say. A sailor's thimble. Oh wow! Hey, maybe that's something I need to look into. I bet I could find one in an antique store. Yeah, because it's the thumb that I need to protect. Oh, okay. I'll see if there's anything else on. I don't know if there's any other quilt shows. Like I said, the big ones tend to be February, August and September for us. The other ones are much more, they're much local, more local shows. So I've realised I'm out of camera there, apologies. So you need to come over now. I think we're having summer now. That might be it. Oh. I see what you mean, Annie Cat. I've contemplated just buying leather gloves from like the thrift store and just cutting the fingers off. That would do, wouldn't it? When in August is it? Do you know, I don't know. It's usually about the second week. Bear with me, bear with me. Just look it up online, sorry. I might have to go and make another cup of tea in a minute. My throat is going to give up soon. Cold tea's not going to do it. Oh, you found it. Thank you. Yeah, Festival of Quilts, I think is the website. That's the big one. Oh, why? Jet setting. 9th to the 12th. Thank you, Oggy. Yeah, I need to plan that because we work that show and then we have the week off afterwards. I just go away for a week with the family. Oh, I stitched through my finger. Quite often do that. I find I've attached myself to my work and this pad of this finger is basically dead now. I can't feel anything, so I don't even realise I've stitched myself in. Oh wow. Have you got her thimbles now then, Alley Cat, or does she still have them? So I have bought some leather ones. I don't like them to cover the knuckle. I quite like to have the knuckle free. We're all awkward, aren't we? Just keep tucking these tags out of the way. We'll get there. Quite a calm year this year, is it, Oggy? Wow. So I haven't been abroad in a long time. So I need to get the kids' passports and things sorted. I feel like we've just been working for 10 years. Need to stop now and start living. go. It's like I said, I'm leaving quite big gaps between my stitches. But, because this isn't going to be a quilt as such, I'm not worried about them falling off. Da, 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 da. Oh, catch up. Oh wow, that sounds interesting, Alley Cat. Ouch, Minion Mama. Yeah, not nice. Like I said, I've got used to it. This finger is ruined, as is this one really, from pushing the needle. But the thumb, I've got some good holes in there. I just need to protect it a bit more. I figure I'd never get to airport security anymore because I don't know if I've got any fingerprints left. They're all just ripped up and. Right, let's try and get this tag was being a bit naughty there. See if we can persuade it to go under. There we go. Pinch it with my thumb. Squish it. So is it quite cheap to travel across sort of mainland Europe, Oggy? Do you take the trains or do you tend to fly? So our problem is really to get anywhere we have to fly, and it tends to be expensive once you're taking 4 of you. We're going to have fun. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's going to set everything up, isn't it, Mini Mama? Yeah, I bet that does actually, Alley Cat. 2 mil. Wow, that's tiny. Don't really realise, do you, the abuse we put our fingers and hands through. So I'm always wearing hand cream. Constantly trying to keep them soft because, yeah, they take quite a bit of abuse. There we go. So that's a little bit lumpy and bumpy there, but ish. I'm happy with it. Just trying to scoop that up. Stop your enthusiasm. It's not that I don't want you here at all. Just got to get it all to work with family and work commitments and everything else. So unfortunately, until the summer holidays, I'm working, if you know what I mean. So I'm out 2 days a week. Obviously, I live with small people. And a big hairy person. Size 17 feet. That's insane. Oh, my kids are 9 and 10 now. Yeah, 9 and 10. Oggy, I've got a spare room, you can hide in there, don't stress it. I might have a spare room, I should say, because the kids have decided they don't like sharing a room, so I need to move everyone around. But there will still be a spare room. Do you know what, Mini Mama, they are? I mean, they've always been interesting, but they are 2 very different people now. And I'm getting all kinds of attitude. Some of it makes me proud, because I think that's me. And then other bits make me think, God, I hate you, because you're me. quite scary. Every now and again you get a glimpse at them and you realise, you kind of see the men they're going to be. Yeah, you are close to their age, aren't you? I think you're closer to their age than you are to mine. Right, I finished that. I'm just securing the threads on the back now. And then we can change to the next one. Well, that really shimmers on the camera now. Oh, 16, sweet 16. I bet that's a lot of attitude, isn't it? Yeah, my kids love to play outside. They're always out. Get out! We've had some glorious weather the last few days, so yeah, as soon as they get home from school, get changed, get out again. I live on the edge of a forest park, so tend to kick them out in there. I don't know, my boys aren't sporty, you know. They're definitely more outdoorsy. Oh my goodness, Minion Mama. 6'5". I often think my eldest might end up quite tall. I think he'll be over 6 foot for sure. So, my dad's over 6 foot tall and I'm 5'8", so I suspect my eldest is definitely going to be tall. Not sure about the little one. He's just, he's still bijou. Although he always says he's not small, he's fun-sized. And he is. Okay, let's get this little tag here out of the way. Scoot you under there, fella. Sometimes they don't want to go. And I use like I'm just looking for it now. I'll use a cuticle stick. Like for your nails, you get the wooden cuticle sticks. They're great for just trying to tuck fabric out the way. Oh gosh, that must be quite challenging, Alley Cat. Will she always stay within those sort of parameters, or will... Cake! We love cake. Oh dear. The cake is a lie. Yeah, so anyway, if I'm struggling to get fabric to stick under, I use a wooden cuticle stick. I use this quite a lot in my applique, but if I just get it wet, it kind of grabs the fabric, and then I can just kind of sweep it under, and it just goes and it stays. I don't have to pay for those expensive applique tools. Just get some cheap cuticle sticks off Amazon again. Just checking I've got a knot. Yep, we've got a knot. Ow. That'll be my underhand, I caught. Oh, yeah, that sounds like it was a fun day, Alley Cat. I sometimes struggle, I have to say, with the streaming, because sometimes it can take up all day, even though I'm only on for a couple of hours. I feel like I've lost a day sometimes. But it's better than doing nothing. I'm going to hit the garden later on and try and start tidying up, because it's been the first weekend we've had any real good weather. I need to mow the lawn and empty out all the pots from last year, because I still haven't done that. Take that thread out. So again, just grab that cuticle stick and just kind of grab the fabric, sweep it under. Try and maintain the tip. Yay, the sweet smelling monkey returns. Is that better now? Oh, I don't care if it goes back to 15 next week. It's glorious this week, Oggy. If I can just get out in the garden and empty out all last year's hanging baskets and pots, I'll be ready for this year. This might actually be our summer if we're not careful. Oh, Dorkalicious. Oh. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Alley Cat. Let me add you to the regulars, Alley Cat. I have the comments shortened so that I can actually read them. So yeah, bear with me a second. Let me add you to the regulars list, and it shouldn't catch you next time. Oh, new regular. Oh my goodness, have I got that right? Ali, I'm going to have to do my case sensitivities here, haven't I? Oh my. Sorry, Alley Cat. I got Flying Pink Monkey with that lesson, yes, on Tuesday, didn't I? I think I've just added you as a regular. So whereabouts are you, Dorkalicious? Because I'm in Leicestershire, and it's glorious today. Don't mention thunder. It is totally personal, Monkey. It's not. I end up with a really silly face if I'm trying to read for too long. My face says everything I'm thinking, so if they're short comments, hopefully I catch the look on my face. If it's too long, I'm gone. Oh yeah, you're just down the road from me then. I'm at the top of the 444. So. Nuneaton. I've only been to Nuneaton once and just got stuck in the ring road, it felt like. I couldn't get out again. It's quite nice to meet fellow Brits. Don't tend to have too many of them on Twitch. Well, I never seem to come across any. 15th or 18th of June. Okay, I'll have to go and check the calendar because, like I say, I do work. I work Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I'm not around at all those days. And I stream Tuesdays and Fridays, so you have to come on stream with me. Dorkalicious. You just can't get out again. Oh dear. Oh, I don't know if I could have that in the background, Minion Mama. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't tend to do well if there's noise and people talking at the same time. I can't cope. Anyway, Alley Cat, you didn't say anything wrong, by the way. It was just too long a comment. So you can break it up and you can post to us in little chunks if you like. But hopefully you're on my regulars list now and it shouldn't catch you again. Oh yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, Oggy. It's more that I wouldn't be there to show you around places, but yeah. Mi casa e su casa. I've already warned hubby. We're getting there, we're getting there. Let's get this tag out of the way. Yep, I will do, Oggy. I'll get back to you after the stream. What days are those dates? that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that's really interesting, Minion Mama. Let's see how we get on now, because this is a really dark thread now against this light blue. So if I don't like it, if it shows up too much, I'll get rid of it. Oh, okay, so Friday might be good, because then you've at least got the weekend with us. Like I say, I'll be going away towards the end of that week, Monday the 18th. I'll be leaving to go away to this show, so that could be awkward. Let's see if I can make my stitches just a bit smaller now. I'll be leaving, I think, probably the Wednesday. I think I have to travel down Wednesday to set up Thursday. And then the show is usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think the show is the 22nd. Oh, let me check my dates. It's that weekend. Yeah, so the show is on the 21st, 22nd. No, 22nd to the 24th is the actual show opening. We'll be setting up on the 21st, which means I'll probably leave here on the Wednesday, because it's down in Kent. Sorry, Kent. It's down there. It's south of Watford Gap, which as far as I'm concerned is down south. But yeah, so if you came on the Friday, then you can stay with us until like the Tuesday or something, if you want to. Not a problem. And so if you can get into East Midlands Airport, I'm literally 10 miles away from there. I don't know if you can see that. I can see my stitches, but again, this is handmade, so I tend to not get too obsessed. If you can see that, so you can see them. No worries, Oggy. We can sort that out, don't stress. Yeah, well, we're quite centrally located, Oggy, so you'll be able to get out and about. I can get you into a place called Loughborough. They've got a mainline train station, or even down to Atherstone. Do you know, I always say that, Minion Mama. If anybody picks fault with my stitches, I don't make them anything. Oggy, let me just firm up and make sure that Hexy Hubby is cool. Okay, I can do that after the stream, and then I can get you on the calendar, and then once you're on the calendar, nothing else can go in. Does that make sense? Cool. After stream, buzz me, and I'll check with Bobbles to make sure all's cool. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Keep going off camera, sorry. It's that frustrating. I need this overhead light on, but it's like burning my forehead now. If I turn it off, it's quite a bit darker, so I can't actually see anything. I might have to move my sewing room onto the other side of the house. where I get full sun all day. Because I'm sat in the shade down the front here. Oh, there you go, Dorkalicious. We'll have to meet up. We'll go to the Horse and Jockey or something for something to eat. So my hubby works near Twycross, so we we looked at Atherstone for houses when we were moving here. And, we ended up just a little further out. One of our girls got added big bees at the top. Oh, that sounds nice, Minion Mama. So I've got a tailor's awl somewhere, but it's just a boring one that I bought. But yeah, if we can get Oggy to Atherstone, then she can get a train to pretty much anywhere, can't she? So we can do Bosworth Battlefield, that's near here. Richard III, Metis End. We've got Cork Abbey's not far away. That's quite a nice stately home because it's an unstately home. It's left in its natural state. It was occupied, the last member of the family before they left it to the National Trust was like a hoarder and a hermit, so the house is just packed to the rafters with stuff and they haven't bothered to restore it or anything. It's great. Oh, no worries, Minion Mama. Don't you stress it, go have a rest. I'm back here on Tuesday. If you can join me, that'd be great, but don't stress if you can't. I don't know what I'm doing on Tuesday. I think I'm going to have to start working on samples for work, so I might have to get the machine out and things, but I'll figure it out by Tuesday. But thank you for joining me and staying up so late. Tuck that under there. Oh, driving test. Is it your first time, Dorkalicious? I have a weird tip for driving tests, but I'm not sure if I should tell you. Feels a bit weird. Basically, my husband taught me to drive, and we're still married 18 years later. But yes, he taught me to drive, and he told me that him and his friends at school had this thing where they wouldn't wear any underwear for their driving tests. And all the people who didn't wear any knickers passed first time. And I can say I passed first time for the same reason. I think you're so frightened of having an accident that your mum won't identify you with no knickers on, so you don't crash. Anyway, it's worked for everybody I know and everybody I've told. Exciting though. Getting wheels, that's it. You'll be able to get out of Nuneaton. I remember I just scraped through my theory test. I think it was the first year you had to do a theory test, which was frustrating. And don't spoil it, Oggy. I learnt to drive in Swindon, and I don't know if you're familiar with Swindon, but there's a roundabout there called the Magic Roundabout. It's not there anymore, they've got rid of it, but it was a single roundabout surrounded by 5 mini roundabouts. And it was like, the test centre was right next to it, so you had to negotiate Magic Roundabout just to get out on your driving test. So I booked my driving test for the next town over, so I didn't have to deal with it. So it was a really strange, because you had to kind of go the wrong way around the roundabout, and it felt wrong. And I think I only drove over it about 3 times. Well, congratulations on passing your theory test. won't fail. You won't fail. I even hit the curb on my 3-point turn thing. And I didn't hit it once. No, I had to try again and hit it again. And I still... The right way for you, Oggy, yes. But we give way to the right. It feels wrong to have to look left to make sure nobody's coming. I swear that's why I don't travel as much as I would like, because I'm petrified of being on the wrong side. No. You see, we're kind of going the other way now, Alley Cat, because roundabouts work. When you know how to use them, they work. They keep the traffic moving. But for some reason, of late, they've started to put blinking traffic lights on roundabouts. So it just slows everything up, and it blows my mind, because I'm approaching a roundabout, and I know how to, you know, I'm looking right, and then I've got a red light, and I have to stop anyway, even though nothing is coming. And it just seems to back all the traffic up now. So I don't know, perhaps we'll get rid of roundabouts eventually. But they work. I hate being controlled by a light bulb. Light bulbs and paint, that's all it is. Alrighty. Just tuck that end under there. Well, that's good then, Doggalicious. I learnt to drive in a Ford Ka, and the problem with that car, there isn't a right angle on that car, you know. Not a right angle to be seen, so I really struggled to just get any kind of reference points for reversing, and yeah, got there in the end though. I'm trying to think, I've been driving 18 years now. Makes such a difference. You get that freedom to just go where you want when you want. Exactly, Alley Cat, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't like being controlled by light bulbs. Do you ever get that thing at night when you kind of pull up to the traffic lights and it's like 3 in the morning, there's no one around, and still you sit there thinking, I could just go, there's nobody coming, I can see for miles. Oh, you're learning in a Mini. Ah, my first driving lesson was in a Mini, but the old style Minis. What don't you like? Is it too small or just... I have to say now, I look at the old Minis now and I think, oh my god, I used to drive on the motorway in that thing. Not as bad as I used to have a Triumph Spitfire, and that's low down. You're sort of passing lorries and like their wheels are in your eyeball. Ugh. Right, you go shower, you stinky thing, Oggy. No worries, Alley Cat, no worries. Thank you for lurking and keeping the numbers up. I probably should start sewing. We're nearly there. Oh dear. Time is it now? Oh, it's just after midday here. I always panic that it's time to pick my kids up, but it's not. Nowhere near. I think I've got a little knot in there. Oh. There we go. Got it. Oh, hang on, what's it held there? It doesn't like crotch either, Dorkalicious. Oh no, that's no fun, then, is it? I take it you can't raise the steering wheel up or anything. Just fold that back. I might have to turn the auto mod down a little bit. Oh dear, too funny. Don't worry, I'll tell Mr. Hex. Right, how much thread have I got left? I'm going to stop that bit of thread because I haven't got a lot left and it's starting to shred near the eye of the needle. So I've just got a little bit left to do. Yay! And then we can figure out what we're going to do next with it. What is that? Random thread there, I'll figure that out in a second. Oh, that is rubbish Dorkalicious. Well, at least you know what car you don't want to buy when you pass your test, hey? Let's just trim that one down. I don't know what that thread is, just cut it off at random. Oh, brilliant! So you already know what you want then. Oh dear. So, I love the little cap, but oh god, it drove me nuts. Went to a Honda Prelude after that. That was super fast. Green, 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 green. Green, green, green. I never think to use a needle threader because I just do it. And when I start to struggle, I think, where's my needle threader? I'm not sure. I've not been in one of those mockers. Is it a mocker? That looks how you should say it anyway. Oh dear. There we go. So we have a little Citroen C1 as the kind of runabout. It's brilliant. It's like a little go-kart. No mod cons or anything, but no road tax. Oh, so near the end. Keep going, keep going. So I might make this into what we call a mug rug. Just a little quilted mat. I think that'll be quite nice. I'm looking around because I had some little quilted mats, my little pumpkin mats, and this will probably end up about the same sort of size. Aha. Will it have a ramp and things as well, or is it just so that you can put it in the boot? That's going to make a massive difference then if you can drive and get out and about with her. So I quite like the independence that I have now. I didn't learn to drive till I was about 21, and up until that point I hadn't really needed to drive because I always lived in the city, and then we moved and I had to walk to work along a dual carriageway. Oh God, that just scared the bejesus out of me. So I decided to just bite the bullet and get a licence. Because I was sick of being sucked into lorries, you know, as they go past, you're like, oh, not fun. Dear, not the neatest there. Brilliant. That's okay, Dorkalicious. Thing is, if there isn't a need, you don't do something, do you? Like I say, I had to have a reason to learn to drive. If I hadn't worked at that factory out in the middle of nowhere, I probably wouldn't have learned to drive, but I did, so I had to. And, so it's not cheap learning to drive now either, is it? I was lucky hubby took me out to drive. And like I said, I can't believe we're still married, because we had some good arguments in some car parks trying to get that thing parked, and bless him, he hung in there. So we're about the same age then, Dorkalicious. I'm a bit ahead of you. I've got my big birthday next year. Not looking forward to that. I don't know why, because I never celebrate birthdays anyway, but I get the feeling everybody else wants to make a big deal out of it. Wow, that is a lot, isn't it? So I know when I was learning it was probably about 15, I think it was about 15, maybe £20 a lesson. And I had one lesson, like proper lesson, and the guy told me I needed between 20 and 30 lessons because I had to get experience of driving. It's not just about learning how to drive, it's actually the experience of driving. And we decided it was cheaper just to insure the car for a learner and to make me drive everywhere than it was to actually have all these lessons. Because it's not cheap, is it? It's definitely, it's an investment. Yay, last stitch has just gone in. Let's just quickly do that. It'll be worth it. And then you'll probably wonder why you didn't do it sooner. £57! What are we doing here on Twitch? We should be I should be teaching people to drive. I couldn't actually. I am the world's worst passenger. I am that person that's constantly bracing on the dashboard and stamping imaginary brake pedals. I don't think I could teach anyone else to drive. Gosh, that's a lot. And is that a one-to-one lesson, Dorkalicious, or do you end up having somebody else in with you? Because I noticed that's become quite a thing now, with people like sharing lessons, which I think is a bit cheeky. There we go. Not great, but it doesn't suck either. We won't be winning any ribbons with that one. Let's take that off now. So the new skin is just starting to peel off now. It's warmed up nicely. God. Okay. So I've kind of got two choices now. I can leave it as it is and perhaps incorporate it into a sampler quilt, or I could make it into a sort of mat thing. So I've got these little like hexagon mug rugs mats, and I was thinking I could do a similar thing, a bit smaller than this, with that. So let's have a look. Let's just move my cold tea. Oh dear, Dorkalicious, not good. What happened there then? I've had one accident in 18 years. Not one that I want to talk about. It was not nice. I think it kind of technically was my fault, but wasn't. It's all weird, but it was not fun. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so I've got these different sized hexagon rulers. Just kind of laying this one out to see how that would look as a mat. It's going to be quite good. I quite like it. So if I just... This is like a set of nested... You need to get out. You do need to get out. Go on, Oggy. Go do something with your life. These are nested rulers, so there's all different sized hexes. I just stick them together with masking tape, otherwise they fall apart. I will, thank you, Oggy, I will. I think we're just going to literally cut this down into a sort of hexagon shape and may or may not make a mat. I don't know. I may call it a stream soon and just get out in that sunshine. Oh dear. Yeah, I will talk to you later, Oggy. I will speak to Mr. Hexy. And, oh God, he grabbed the wheel off you. See, I'm not sure I'd be happy with that. Right, I'm going to have to put those other ones just inside to hold this. He didn't break. Ow. You'd like to think he would have spotted that before you're actually on the bend, wouldn't you? So have you changed instructors now, or? Just marking this with a water-soluble pencil, just so I can kind of get an idea of the size of it. This is another Roxanne's product. It's the Quilter's, I think it's chalk pencil. I like it very much, and I've had some really good results with this. I'm always nervous that markings aren't going to wash out of quilts, but so far this one has washed out of everything I've used. So there we go. I think we will do that. I'm just going to trim it down now, and I think I might call it a stream there and decide what I'm going to do next. I might make a sampler quilt with all different blocks that you can kind of stitch along with me on stream if you want, and if you don't have to. But, so what I could do, I could fill this in here as well. We're talking about tessellating shapes. So we can put in there, that's a 2-inch 6-pointed rhombus. So we could make this into a full hexagon shape just by putting some other thing in. But I don't know what colour I would put in, and I think if I do, it's going to distract the eye from that three-dimensional look. Oh gosh, Dorkalicious, not fun. Not fun. I say I still get sweats about mine now. Every now and again, I just get that weird, I can hear the noise and I can, yeah. Ah, Peeper Smeep, you missed it! Good morning! Did you have a good sleep? Did you have a good sleep? That's the important thing, I think. Oh. Yeah, the only reason I'm stopping it, it's 12:30 here in the UK, and let's turn that light off now. It's 12:30. The sun is shining. It's so lovely outside. I don't know if you can see, if I turn my camera, it is really bright outside. Like we can barely see anything. So I'm going to go enjoy some sunshine and tidy my garden all at the same time. Well, you can watch it back if you like. All I did was sew these together and then I've appliqued them down onto a background fabric peep. And I'm thinking I might do some kind of sampler hexy quilt. So we'll make lots of blocks sort of this size and we can join them together, or we could just make lots of different mug rugs, mats, or something. I don't know, or nothing. Oh dear. Right. So where are we at now? What time? Yeah, past. I'm going to have a look at the, let's have a look at Naughty by Nature stream team page, because I was accepted. I'm now part of that stream team. And they're a super bunch of people, all doing funky things with different textiles, yarn, all sorts. So we'll go and see if anybody else is live at the minute, and see if we can't take some of that Hexy love over to them. So let's have a look. Who have we got? Oh, Samphoria. Let's see what she's doing. I think Samphoria tends to be like a variety streamer, so sometimes she's gaming, sometimes she's crocheting. At the minute she is gaming though, so I'm not a big fan of gaming. Peanut Lady, what's Peanut Lady doing? Da da da. Can't tell what she's up to right now. Sorry, you've got my silly computer face, guys. Right then, we're going to do weaving. We're going to weaving. I can never pronounce this lady's name. Fanalanthe. We're going to go over and see what she's up to, because it looks like she's doing some funky braiding or weaving or something. So yeah, we're going to do that. But guys, thank you, as always. I can't believe people take time out of their day to come and keep me company whilst I'm sewing. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the bits, the follows. Oggie's gone, but I really appreciate Oggie's help with modding for me. And Monkey for spotting the weirdos earlier on in the stream, so I appreciate that too. I have to say, my little spidey senses were going off. I was thinking, oh no, not again. I was just going to keep an eye on them, but incident free, and we had fun. We did some stitching. So have a great weekend, everybody. I'm going to set up the raid thing. We will get a raid call, I think, to take over with us. Just another thing to put on my list of tech things to work out. But we will go and raid Fanalanthe IR. Is that going to work? Let's see. Yep, we are raiding, so brilliant. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm hoping the sun stays out a bit longer, Dorkalicious. We don't want thunder tomorrow, we want more sunshine. But yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me. I'm back on Tuesday, and we might turn this, I think, into a mat. I think. I don't know. Anyway, have a great weekend, guys. See you soon.